When is job hopping bad? When is it good? How to avoid looking like one. I worked as a recruiter for a long time and filled a lot of positions. And job hopping can occur during times where you have to change jobs with regularity, or you want to change jobs with regularity. So, for example, during times like a pandemic or a recession, you may have a pattern where you're changing every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months. There's a pattern that's showing up. That can look like a job hopper unless you explain it to an employer. For example, I couldn't get something full time even though I wanted to. So I wound up doing temp work. That's one way to explain it. Another way becomes, it was tough economic times and firms were laying off regularly. I needed work. I joined a firm. 3 months later, they're starting cutbacks again. 6 months later at a different firm, same thing. I went in with full intention to stay there, but the firm didn't keep me because I was one of the newer people and less connected with leadership in an organization. That becomes a way that you can explain it. Sometimes job hopping is a good thing from your vantage point because you take a job and it's not what they've led you to believe because, as I've said many times, employers misrepresent jobs as much as job hunters misrepresent their abilities. So you get into a situation, you discover what's wrong there, and you wind up in a situation where you got to flee because it's not what they told you. You're doing something radically different. And that happens much more often than people want to acknowledge. It's bad when firms believe there's the pattern, and a pattern where your perseverance and stick-to-itiveness gets called into question. 3 months here, 6 months there, 4 months there, in fairly rapid succession with no period where you're demonstrating professional perseverance. And thus they start questioning you, even when it's not your fault. Now, one of the ways that you can avoid this pattern is having conversations with your manager frequently in order to determine what's going on. Why am I doing this kind of work? This wasn't what I was presented with. And you can sit and listen and nod and go, oh, I understand. Keep your head down for a while and see if things do change because you've questioned them and you don't want them to think that you're leaving right away. But you can, and you can try and persevere. That becomes one way to do it. Not ideal. The ideal way is before you join an organization. What you do is try contacting people who've worked for that firm, work for that manager at that firm, or work for that manager at a different firm to get a sense of what they're like as a manager, to get a sense of what it's like working at that firm before you join. That's a step that too few people do, and thus they get surprised when they wind up with micromanaging leaders, micromanaging managers who are in their business all the time and frustrating the heck out of people. Steve Jobs had a great quote where he basically says, a lot of people hire smart people and then tell them what to do. And I at Apple try and hire smart people and have them tell us what to do. Well, you may not be in a position where you're able to tell your management what to do or to tell your leadership what to do. But you don't have to wind up in a situation where you get frustrated because you haven't investigated what it's really like to work there. And again, I come down to the idea of you pre-interview people who've worked for this individual either at this firm or at a previous firm. You can find that on LinkedIn pretty easily and thus be able to identify some of the characteristics that you like or don't like from these people. Because to me, surprises are really good. It's not like you're suddenly going to go to a job and it's even better than what you expected. It's why the statistics say within 6 months of joining, almost 1/3 of all people regret the decision they make. So you don't want to look like a job hopper if you can avoid it. And part of that is not landing up in a job that you're going to dislike, working for someone that you dislike. Hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman. Visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. Go to the site and go exploring. There's a lot there to help you. It's in the blog, it's in my courses, it's in my books and guides. You can find out about all of that at my website. In addition, if this isn't the right time for you to do that, at least put the address in your phone. Again, the site is thebiggamehunter.us. Put my name with it, Jeff Altman, and in the notes field, job search blog. This way you can find it on a later occasion. Connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/thebiggamehunter. Mention that you saw this video because, number one, I like knowing that I'm helping some folks, and it's my curiosity. I'm curious what brought you to me. By doing a connection with me, you're going to expand your network a lot. So when you get into the position where you do have to investigate someone, you may not have to pay for an expanded version of LinkedIn because you'll be connected to folks through me. Hope you have a terrific day. Be great. Take care.